Right, good evening, guys. So today we just want to move with speed. At least if we cover a bigger part of Unit One, then maybe tomorrow we can start. We can finish Unit One, then start on Unit Two and move with speed because we are really behind. Right. So today we want to look at control structures. So there are several types of control structures that we want to look at. So the first thing that we need to look at today is we want to do the if statements. So start with a simple if statement. Then we go to if else statements, right? Then I'm sure you guys you look at nested if statements. Then after doing that, we want to look also at multiple if statements. Then when that is all done, we look at switch. We look at switch. I'm sure you've done this in your C# switch case statements, right? So control structures, they were designed to enable the programmer to make decisions. Let me give you an example of an if statement. Let's say we have a Boolean variable, bool, then my color. Let's say this is my color equals to. Let's say it's basically it's just a flag. It's just a flag. Right? The program that we want to write is if the variable that we're looking at has been flagged, then we write something, right? If flag is true, then something should be done. Then we might print something, console.writeLine flag. Don't worry, this is just an example. So if we try to run this, come on. Right, it will print the statement, the variable has been flagged, right? And the opposite is true. If we write false, and we try to run it, nothing will happen, right? Nothing will happen because we didn't put an else statement. So this is a simple if. Then we want to look at an if else, right? So for the else part, if the flag is false, write this, right? Otherwise, do something, right? So else then let's just copy this piece of code, else, right? The flag has not been flagged, right? The variable has been flagged. So if you try to run it, the variable has been flagged because it's true, but false, the variable has not been flagged. So this is an example of an if-else statement, right? So now we want to look at multiple ifs. Multiple ifs. How do we write code in multiple ifs? So if you look at the syntax, multiple ifs, if then condition, right? If condition, then you write your statements. You write your statements, right? Then else, if, right? You write the condition, then you write your statements. Statements go here, you close, and ready, and on and on and on and on and on, right? Then your last statement, after you have considered the multiple ifs, your last statement will become the else, right? Become the else. Then you write your statements supporting the else, right? So basically, this is the syntax, basically, right? This is the basic syntax. So what we want to do here, we want to write a code that is going to analyze a mark. If the mark is greater than or equal to 75, then it's a distinction. If the mark is greater than or equal to 65 and at the same time it's less than 75, then it's a 2-1. Such kind of distinction, Twitter 2-1, Twitter 2-2, then fail, right? That's what we want to do. Let's write the code. That's exactly what we want to do. So panabata kuti susu int, right? Int mark. That's the mark that we want. And we want to get the mark from the user, right? So takuti convert dot to, you remember typecasting. We did typecasting last time, and we need to convert anything that is entered by the user. It will come up as a string variable. So we need to convert the string variable with the integer. So that's the purpose of using the toInt method. And the toInt method, we find it from the convert class. And you understand more particularly the concepts of OOP, because C# is a fully fledged OOP language. It's a pure object-oriented programming language. So let's move. Then console dot read line. Read line, that's the function that we use to read the keys that would have been entered by the user, right? Now we are writing our if, right? If mark is greater than or equal to 75, then we need to add another condition. So if you want to join these conditions, you use the ampersand, right? It means and. Mark, right? We use the ampersand. So don't worry about this. This time we don't need it, and we don't need this one. For starters, let's just do it. Let's write it that way. Let's write it that way. Then console dot write line. Tafto nyora. This is where we write our statements. So this person has a distinction. So tango nyora just one it. Distinction, right? Which means this person has got a distinction, right? Then else, if we need another condition, this is where the multiple if comes in. Tabuti mark, right? This mark is smaller, right, than 75. Then tabisa end. Why are we putting end? Because we also need, our mark has to be in the range between 65 and 74. That's the range. So to write that range so that the logic can be programmed in this piece of code that we are writing, we need those two conditions, right? So the next condition here is mark is greater than or equal to 65. Greater than or equal to 65. Then we write the statements. that we need to be executed here. This one is a 2-1, right? Then we go to another one. Else, if we go to another condition, right? Condition here 2-2. 2-2 should be between 55 and 64. So we are now saying if mark, right, is smaller than 65. At the same time, mark is, if mark is greater than or equal to 55, right? Then takes a statement, which is a 2-2, right? Once that is done, we go for another one. Else if we need another condition. So condition here 2-2, it's 50 to 54. So that mark should be less than 55, and mark should be greater than or equal to 50, right? Greater than or equal to 50. Then we write our pass. Right? What we need to do, right? So else, if mark, right, mark is less than 50, mark is less than 50. Don't foira go. Don't foira go. To batatishi wa foira mana ko mana kana mana scan. Then we need an else. If you enter anything other than this, then it's a what? It's an invalid mark, right? That's what we want to do. So basically, this is what we did. Taisama conditions. These are multiple ifs, right? Let's just run the program. I'm sure when you play the video over and over again, you get to understand. So we need to write the mark. In fact, we're supposed to prompt the user to enter something to make the code more user friendly. So panapatuti mulane 78. This should be a distinction, right? 78 is a distinction. We can do this. Please enter the mark. Please enter the mark. So please enter the mark. Takisa 9 mungabu for failed, yeah? For it. Right? Please enter the mark. Got to say 56. 56 is a 2-2. Did it? Can go check a 2-1. Did it? 2-1. 67 can do 2-1. Fair. 2-1. Did it? So basically, this is how the multiple ifs work. Did it? You can even nest your ifs. We shall look at more examples in the next short video. I'm making multiple short videos, so don't worry.